Hello and welcome to this second ICGraph video tutorial. In this video I will show you the channel selection feature on the streaming client, and I will show you how to configure or control that from ICGraph. So as first we have to configure the channel selection. For that I have prepared here already something. Here's attached a USB drive to my PC, and on the USB drive I have 3 different playlists. Let's have a look in the first playlist. You see there is a stream URL terminated with current return line feed, so that we get a second empty line. That's it. Each of the playlists has a different streaming URL. This USB stick I remove now from the PC and connect it to my Xstreamer. The Xstreamer will now automatically reboot. And when it's rebooted, then we have to configure the channel selection feature. Now, let's wait a second. Okay, now it's up again. We go to Configuration, Advanced Settings, and here under Streaming we can configure the channel selection function. We do this here in URL 1. So what we will do, we will play the playlist from the USB drive. That means we define here the name play, and then it comes a 3-digit number 1, 2, 3. So, and for that we have a space holder. You see that here. I choose it from here. So the space holder is $num$. It's case sensitive, and this is for a 3-digit space holder. That means it goes from 000 to 999. So we have 1000 channels available. You can combine this with a playlist on the USB stick or a playlist on an external web server, but you can use that space holder even on an IP address if you want. It's very flexible, usable. Okay, we have already the playlist in URL 1. For that reason we don't need this in URL 3. And the next we will control from ICGraph via UDP. That means we have to configure the UDP command port. We go here to serial and control, and here we have that already in from my first try, but per default it's 0. So please configure here even 12301. That's the default UDP command port from ICGraph. Okay, then we apply the settings. The device is now rebooting. Okay, let's go back to the home page. Okay, now it's playing again. The channel selection should already work now. From this virtual remote control, we should be able to change the channel. Here you see the channel. It's currently 1. When we type here, when we click on the 2 and the play button, then it should change the channel and even change to the second playlist. So let's try this even with the third playlist. We click on 3, click on the play button, and we see the channel has changed to 3, and it's changing even the streaming URL. Okay, but how to do that from ICGraph? In ICGraph we have the message button. The message button is able to send UDP messages out, and with this UDP messages we send the commands to the Xstreamer. So let's open the menu with a right click here in ICGraph, and here we have 3 different message buttons. So the new direct is when you define the IP address in the message button itself, and the new active is when you select the target before, and that we will use new active. So we put this here on another position. Okay, we call this button 1. Could be even any other name, playlist 1 or whatever. The name should be unique as usual in ICGraph, and then to make this nice, we use a different size, and here that we better remember, we use line 300. And now we have to define the commands. So the command is r equal 1, that's according to this button here, and then ampersand and c equal 1. C equal 1 is according to this button here. Okay, that we save now, and we restart the application. Okay, the first button is done. So then let's make even a second button in the same way. New active. We put this on our location. Okay, here 300, size 45, even here 45, number 2. By the way, you can type the commands in ASCII as we have done now. But for example, when you have to send a command and you have to send a special termination character, for example, then you can even send a command in hex. So for example, when you have to use a carriage return line feed, the ICGraph is per default sending the commands with a termination character hex 00. And if you will send a carriage return line feed, then you have to define the entire command in hex, and this you can switch with the root sign in the front. With the root sign in the front, ICGraph knows the command is coming now in hex, and in hex you can then even define the carriage return line feed. Okay, that as side information, but let's go back to our example. We use here the second channel. Oh, sorry, mistake. So that's for the second button. Then we save that, and we restart, and we do even the third button. So 3 r equal 3 ampersand c equal 1. So we put this here, this size 45, and here, wait, we should relocate this first. So a bit more, so okay, then we save it. Okay, well, now it's done. I have to restart, but okay, this example here is insofar a bit bad because nobody knows what is this here. We need something like a description. The description you do with a label. So we add here a label, right click, and then we have a new label. We put this in the right position, and then we can even write here playlist/channel. So we make this even a bit bigger. So, and then we save that. Okay, we restart. Okay, one little mistake. We see it's a different background. So let's go back to this here. And now we make this transparent. Then we see the background. Okay. Perfect. And now we should able to control the X streamer from our ICGraph application. We select the target. Currently it's channel 3, and we click channel 1. And as you see, it is switching to channel 1. So you see the button is now changing the color. That is because of the response from the X streamer. The X streamer will acknowledge the received command. And if you don't like that, by the way, it's a good thing, because then you even know that a command was received. But if you don't like that, then you can even use a special command here. We make a new label, and when you type 2 slashes here, you create a label with 2 slashes, that's a special function which ignores the response. So let's restart again. Okay, one more mistake here. Even that, you see it was having a different color. We make this invisible. So we're changing the size to 0 and then it is invisible. Okay, that looks much better now. We select the button, here the target, and then I click here channel 2 and we see it is changing to channel 2. And the button is not changing the color anymore. It is ignoring the response from the X streamer. The same works even when I click on URL free, it is changing to URL free. So that was all. I hope you liked the video. If you have any questions, then please send an email to support@barix.com. Thank you for watching.